Today I'm going to talk about something that every man has done in his life many, many times, and that is using this argument with your woman. Well, if you were in my shoes, how would you feel? Now, in these situations, we're thinking logically, right? We think that if we can make her see the situation from our point of view, she'll see things logically and understand where we're coming from. And in our minds, if we make that happen, then she'll come around and totally agree with us. But there are two huge flaws in this logic. The first flaw is that women are not logical creatures at all. Trying to actually appeal to a woman's logic, it's useless. I actually had a consultation client a while back ask me if he should try to be logical when trying to talk to women or pick up women, and I told him, of course not. Women aren't logical or rational. You don't walk up to a woman and say something like, hey, you should give me your number because I make $40K a year, I drive a reliable Honda Accord, and I have perfect credit, which means I can take good care of you for the rest of your life. Stuff like that is not going to make her aroused by you. It's not going to make her attracted to you, because women, they base their romantic decisions on emotion and emotion alone. Any man with this level of awareness knows this. I mean, honestly, you don't even have to know the true nature of women from this point of view to understand that they don't make decisions on anything really based on rational thought. That said, if you expect your woman to see things your way in a disagreement because you did the rational thing and asked her how she would feel if the situation were reversed, you're going to be disappointed every time. Again, you're trying to appeal to her logic, which backfires every single time. She'll likely say, well, I'd feel differently because of blah, 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 and whatever her answer is never makes sense because it is not based on logic. Now, that particular response leads me to the second major flaw in this logic, and that is that women will lie every single time. And I'll give you a quick example. Let's say you and your girl are arguing about, I don't know, her texting back and forth with her ex, which, by the way, wouldn't happen if you've coached her properly. But for the sake of, for the sake of the argument, let's just take the typical clueless rank and file male here in 2022 is in an argument with his woman about her texting her ex. They go back and forth, they yell, they get loud and so forth, and then he asks her, well, what if I was texting back and forth with my ex? You wouldn't like that, would you? 11 times out of 10, she is going to say, no, it wouldn't bother me at all, because if you told me you two were just friends, I would trust you not to suspect anything. Now, we all know that's 100% BS, because she would absolutely have a problem with it, and they both know it. But for the sake of winning the argument and giving herself permission to engage in bad behavior, she lies. Her lie is almost a double-edged sword of sorts, because not only does she tell him she'd be okay with it, the reason she gave him indirectly accuses him of being possessive, jealous, and controlling. When girls say, of course I wouldn't have a problem with it because I would trust you, what they're also doing is they're shaming men into ignoring our instincts by telling men that they would trust them in the same situation for no other reason but to create the margin they need to cheat. But then later on down the road, when she asks you who you're texting and it's your ex, she loses her mind. And when you remind her of what she told you before, she will always say, but that was different. What happens from there? She comes up with a bunch of BS reasons as to why your situation was different from hers and why she has the right to be pissed and why you didn't. Again, this is how modern women work, and they do this every single time without fail, guys. Guys, listen to me when I tell you this. Never, ever attempt to put your girlfriend in your shoes or ask her how she would feel if she were in your position, or if she'd be all right with you doing whatever it is she's doing, because she's never going to answer rationally. She's never going to answer honestly. This is a lose-lose situation no matter what. The put yourself in my shoes technique never, ever goes well, and it never ends well. If your girl is texting her ex, then let her know, hey, listen, I don't date girls who text their ex. Are you telling me to stop texting my ex? No, I'm just telling you I don't date girls who text their ex. If you're texting your ex, then you become the kind of girl that I don't date. So you're essentially breaking up with yourself, period. And guys, you got to be ready to follow through with this, because if you're not, she's not going to stop the behavior. And it is a mathematical inevitability that she is going to start smashing her ex behind your back. I guarantee it. The key to getting a woman to stop these kinds of behaviors is to not commit to her until she stops the behaviors in the first place. No explanations, no rational questions, none of this, well, how would you feel if I did the same thing? Dude, none of that nonsense. And if your woman asks you to think about this from her perspective, or how would you feel if I did the same, simply say this: stupid question, I'm not a woman, and leave it at that. Look, let her throw a fit, let her talk, let her bitch, let her cry. stand your ground, guys, and do not feed into her emotional shenanigans. Eventually, she will calm down and will have more respect for you because you've shown her that you're not the kind of man who will be manipulated by a simple role reversal technique. Thanks for watching.